Level 1. The penalty. $40 basic economy. The smell of burnt coffee and floor disinfectant hits you the moment you step through the sliding glass doors of the airport. It is 4:45 a.m. in Cleveland. You are 22 years old, you manage a local fitness center, and you are flying to Las Vegas for a friend's bachelor party. You bought the ticket for $38.99. But you are currently sweating through your t-shirt because you are standing in front of the ultimate enforcer of lower-class travel, the metal baggage sizer box. The gate agent is staring at you. She has the dead, unblinking eyes of a toll booth operator who has seen every lie humanity has to offer. "If the backpack doesn't fit in the box, sir, it's a $75 gate check fee," she says. You drop to one knee. You begin violently shoving your nylon backpack into the metal cage. You are negotiating with gravity. You hear a zipper pop. You manage to wedge it in, but now it's stuck. And when you try to pull it out, you lift the entire metal sizer off the carpet. A man behind you in a neck pillow sighs loudly. You are penalized for your lack of capital. At level 1, the airline views you not as a passenger, but a liability. You are self-loading cargo. You board in Zone 9. You walk down the jet bridge, the air growing thick and stagnant. You reach seat 28E, a middle seat in a row that doesn't even have a window, just a blank plastic wall. Both armrests are already claimed by men who seem to be actively expanding their shoulders just to spite you. When the drink cart finally arrives, they don't give you the whole can. They pour a splash of generic cola over a single ice cube into a plastic thimble and hand it to you without making eye contact. You are strapped into a metal tube hurtling through the sky at 500 miles an hour, a modern miracle, but you feel absolutely miserable. You are at the bottom, and the world makes you feel the friction of every single dollar you didn't spend. Level 2. The invisible, $150 standard economy. You are 28 now. You are a mid-level database administrator living in Dallas. You are flying to Chicago for a conference. You didn't buy the cheapest ticket. You bought standard economy. You are a respectable member of the public flying. At least, you think you are. You board in Zone 4. You are allowed a full-sized carry-on. But by the time you reach row 17, every single overhead bin is completely shut. A flight attendant with a forced plastic smile intercepts you. "We're going to have to gate check that, hun," she says, slapping a neon green tag onto the handle of your carefully packed roller bag. You try to protest. You tell her you have a laptop in there. She is already looking past you, to the next person. "Take your personal items out. Please step into your row. You're blocking the aisle." Here, the world does not actively punish you, but it treats you as entirely invisible. You are processed. You are a barcode scanned at a podium. You sit down. The leg room is exactly enough to ensure your knees graze the fabric of the seat in front of you, but not enough to cause bruising. When the pilot makes his announcement, the intercom is so garbled it sounds like he's speaking into a tin can underwater. Folks, looking at a slight delay, ATC hold." Nobody tells you why. Nobody apologizes. You sit on the tarmac for 45 minutes. You are cattle. You are safe. You are fed a tiny packet of stale pretzels, but you have zero agency. The machine of commercial aviation moves you across the continent, but it does not see you. Level 3. The stretch. $400 Economy Plus, or Exit Row. You have climbed another rung. You are 32, a senior logistics coordinator. You are flying from Toronto to London. It's a transatlantic flight, and you refuse to suffer. You open your wallet and pay the $140 upgrade fee for Economy Plus, the Exit Row. This is the zone of the psychological stretch. You are spending your hard-earned money to buy the illusion of dignity. When you board in Zone 3, you feel a slight, embarrassing rush of superiority. You sit down in row 14, you stretch your legs out, look at all that space. You cross your ankles, you feel like a king. You watch the poor, huddled masses of standard economy trudge past you toward the back of the plane, and you avoid making eye contact with them lest their poverty rub off on your extra 4 inches of legroom. But the dignity is entirely fake. The seat is the exact same width. The padding is just as thin. The flight attendant still aggressively bumps your elbow with the metal beverage cart while storming down the aisle. When dinner is served, it is still the same foil-wrapped rectangle of ambiguous chicken and lukewarm pasta that the back of the plane gets. You try to watch a movie, but the screen is tiny and glares under the reading lights. You bought a slightly nicer spot in the exact same cattle car. The world knows you are stretching to feel important, and they gladly took your $140, but they still view you as a coach passenger. Level 4. The $1,200 domestic first class. You are 36. You are a regional sales director for a software company pulling down a low six-figure salary. You are flying from Atlanta to Seattle, and for the first time in your life, your company springs for a first-class ticket. The moment you step on the plane, you feel it. The shift. You turn left instead of right. You sit down in a wide, plush leather recliner. The friction of the airport immediately dissolves into a quiet, heavily air-conditioned hum. Before the boarding doors even close, a flight attendant approaches you. She is not rushing, she is not stressed, she leans in. "Mr. Rossi, would you care for a pre-departure beverage? A mimosa, perhaps?" She hands you a glass. It is not plastic. It is real, heavy glassware. You take a sip, and then you experience the most profound and slightly guilty pleasure of Level 4. You sit in your wide seat, sipping your drink, watching the economy passengers board. They drag their bags past you. They look stressed, sweaty, panicked. They glance at your legroom, their eyes filled with a mix of envy and resentment. You casually open a magazine, pretending not to notice them. The shift is undeniable. The airline no longer views you as cargo. They view you as a revenue generator. They bring you a hot, steaming towel on a tiny ceramic tray to wipe your hands. But make no mistake, this respect is highly transactional. It is domestic. It is a performance of luxury. The guy next to you is wearing cargo shorts and watching TikTok videos on speakerphone. You are at the top of the middle class, but you are still just flying commercial. Level 5. The Performance. 4,500 International Business Class. You make partner at your firm. You are 41. You are flying from New York, JFK, to London, Heathrow on a red-eye. You are booked in International Business Class, the lie-flat pod. This is the peak of performative success. Your trip doesn't start at the gate. It starts in the flagship lounge. You eat complimentary sushi. You drink a $30 glass of Cabernet. When it is time to board, you walk down a dedicated jet bridge. You enter a cabin that looks like a spaceship. You have your own cubicle. There is a plush duvet, a noise-canceling headset, and an amenity kit made by a luxury brand you can't pronounce. Internally, you are vibrating with anxiety. You don't actually know how the seat controls work. You spend 3 minutes frantically pressing buttons trying to get the leg rest to come up, hoping the flight attendant doesn't notice you struggling. When they bring the pre-flight champagne, you position the glass perfectly next to the embossed menu and snap a photo for Instagram. You make sure the boarding pass is just out of frame, so no one sees it was paid for with company miles. You are performing wealth. You feel incredibly rich, but society knows the truth. The flight attendant is flawlessly polite, addressing you by name, but she is serving 50 other people in this cabin. She is efficient, not subservient. And you are painfully aware that the man in the pod across from you, an executive who flies this route every week, put on his provided pajamas, reclined his seat into a bed, and went to sleep before the wheels even left the tarmac. He isn't impressed by the champagne. You are a tourist in this bracket. He is a resident. Level 7. The Respect. $12,000 International First Class. You are 48. You are a senior partner in private equity. Your wealth is no longer a performance. It is a mathematical fact. You are flying from LA to Tokyo in true international first class. There are only 8 seats in the entire cabin. The shift here is profound. You are no longer a customer being upsold. You are an asset being protected. The friction of travel has been entirely erased. You don't check in at a counter, you are ushered into a private room where a concierge takes your passport and handles everything while you sit on a velvet sofa. You are escorted through a private security screening. When you board, you are shown to a suite with sliding wooden doors. It is larger than your first apartment's bedroom. You don't take pictures for Instagram anymore. The purser comes to introduce himself. He doesn't stand over you. He kneels in the aisle so he is exactly at eye level. We have the 2008 Dom Perignon today, sir, or the Krug, whichever you prefer. Shall I prepare the caviar service after takeoff? At level 6, they are not serving you, they are maintaining your environment. You are handed a pair of noise-canceling headphones, but you don't need them because the cabin is practically silent. The other 7 passengers are quiet, reading financial papers or sipping tea. There is no crying baby. There is no clattering of carts. You sleep on a mattress pad that a flight attendant makes up for you while you change in a bathroom the size of a walk-in closet. The world simply bows to your gravity. Level 8. The Influence. $50,000 heavy jet charter. You are 58. You sold your tech firm. You're chartering a Gulfstream G550 to fly your family from Chicago to Geneva for a ski trip. At level 8, you dictate reality. You aren't just flying private, you are flying heavy metal. The jet can cross oceans without stopping. You step into a cabin featuring a full dining room table, a master bedroom, and 2 lavatories. The flight attendant is an employee of the charter company, but she acts as if she has worked for your family for a decade. Before the flight, she coordinated with your personal assistant. When you sit down, your favorite specific brand of sparkling water, chilled to exactly 38 degrees, is already waiting in the cup holder. You want Nobu sushi at 40,000 feet? The charter company sent an intern to pick it up in Manhattan and packed it in dry ice. It is plated on fine china. Airspace itself seems to yield to you. Commercial jets are held in holding patterns below, while your Gulfstream climbs directly to 45,000 feet, flying above the weather, above the turbulence, above the commercial routes. The word no has been entirely eradicated from your vocabulary. The world is a catalog you order from, and the sky is just a private highway paved specifically for you. Level 9. The Bespoke. $10,000 per hour, wholly owned private jet. The absolute pinnacle. You are 62, a majority shareholder of a multinational conglomerate. You don't charter planes. You own the metal. It is a Bombardier Global 7500. It cost $75 million to purchase, and it costs $10,000 every single hour it is in the air. The captain works for you. He is on your payroll. The flight attendant works for you. The aircraft has your corporate logo subtly embossed into the headrests. The pillows are wrapped in cashmere. You bypass the concept of commercial aviation entirely. When you fly from London to Los Angeles, you arrive at a private terminal. The customs agent comes onto your plane to stamp your passport, apologizing for the intrusion. You do not ask for anything. Your flight attendant knows exactly how you take your espresso because she has made it for you 300 times. You sleep in a proper bed with luxury linens. You take a hot shower at 40,000 feet, the water pressure strong and steady, watching the curvature of the earth through the window. CEOs of rival companies, senators, and royalty ask to hitch a ride with you. You control the ultimate asset. You have successfully purchased total, impenetrable insulation from the friction of humanity. You cross the globe without ever seeing a terminal, a baggage carousel, or a stranger. Level 10. The Ghost. It is 3 a.m. over the Atlantic Ocean. You are cruising at 47,000 feet, alone in the cabin of your Global 7500. The lighting is dimmed to a soft amber glow. You are drinking a $400 glass of scotch. The flight attendant is quietly reading in the galley, trained to remain entirely invisible until the exact moment you need her. You look around the immaculate, silent cabin. You look out the window into the pitch-black void of the stratosphere. The air up here is thin, cold, and dead. And suddenly, the cold, brutal map of the world hits you in the chest. You are entirely isolated. If you were still that 22-year-old kid in Cleveland, sweating at the budget airline Sizer, you were stressed, yes, you were poor, but you were surrounded by people. You were part of humanity. You were in the mix. Up here, you are a ghost. The pilots in the cockpit only speak to you to confirm your itinerary. The people on the ground handling your bags do not look you in the eye. They respect the aircraft, they respect the capital, but they do not know your soul. The people 47,000 feet below you, sleeping in their houses, driving on the highways, don't look up and admire you. They don't even know you are there. You have spent your entire life climbing away from the friction of the economy cabin. You clawed your way out of the boarding zones, out of the delays, out of the noise, demanding that the world bend to your will. But at the absolute top of the world, suspended in a $75 million tube of titanium, you realize what you actually bought. You haven't bought freedom. You have bought a hermetically sealed box. The machinery of wealth has insulated you so perfectly that you have effectively erased yourself from the human race. Thousands of miles below, on a dreary Tuesday morning, a young man in a cheap t-shirt stands at a metal Sizer in Cleveland. He's shoving a nylon backpack into a cage, stressing over a $75 fee. He looks up at the ceiling of the terminal. He thinks that if he just works harder, if he just makes a little more money, if he just climbs high enough to never wait in a line again, the world will finally see him. He doesn't know. He has no idea.